Okay, no worries. 5 sharp today because I do need to stop it and start at 4 sharp because I do need to stop at 5 sharp because I have a meeting. So
Cool. No worries.
it's going to be a short term.
So am I going to be able to see what you're doing?
Yeah, if you want to open
Stream over.
here so I can keep an eye on what's going on. And we're going live. Ooh, forgot to turn on my camera. And there we are. Let's see. Brilliant. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. We are back from Anything World's TV studios. My name is Jay Santos, and today we have a very special guest on our stream. You can see him here on the bottom left. Mark Reynolds. Say hi, Mark.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Yeah, so we'll be today we'll continue to work on the world famous Seagull game. And as we've been doing for I guess past couple of weeks now, we're doing a little bit of housekeeping and fixing bugs in the game, in the pretty much in the last stages of it. So the goal is just to have the level ready and playable, and then we're going to publish the game on itch.io for everybody to download. The source code we're already making available every week on Bitbucket, so you can check it out, play around with it. And why we do that? Because it's it's for lack of a better term, I'm gonna say it's pretty boring. It's just adjusting variables and setting up tags. So in these sessions we're having chats with people from anything world, so I don't have to keep explaining what I'm doing. So I have these more loose and more liberty sessions, and that's good because then we can bring people like Mark to have a chat about development and machine learning and gaming in general. And we have Gordon and Upstairs Girl in the chat. Hello. And if you have any questions want to ask Mark or myself, feel free to put them on the chat and we'll be glad to answer. That said, let's switch to the monitor view. Man, things are working super smooth today. It's almost like we're becoming proficient in this streaming thing.
Just the ultimate team, eh?
I know, right?
Likes us that much.
So, just a quick recap of where we stopped last week. I'm gonna play the Seagull game, and where is it? Oh, last week we finally did the housekeeping in my scene, so everything is under folders and nice and pretty. And then we have our Seagull, and I can eat stuff. And I just want to get big enough to eat our good friends. Yeah, this is something we need to set that. So there is going to be a bug hunting session where we'll do stuff like not falling onto the ground. There we go. Where are
Apparently the sound is a bit muffled.
the sound? Hi Sandy. Who exactly? Me, Mark, in general. What is the sound that's a bit muffled? And we stopped yesterday. Stopped Jay. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I know what's the problem. Let me just show. So we stopped last week with the Seagull being able to eat the humans, but then it becomes super massive, and we're gonna sort it out today. Okay, I'm going to mute one of my microphones, and Sandy, let me know if the sound is better this way. Okay. So Mark, while we wait for Sandy to let us know if the sound is better. Whoa, I missed a big part of the game, skipping the last string. Seagull is it? Yes. Oh, okay, great. Sound is good now. Yes, Upside Girl. Seagull is eating people. Oh, thanks, Sandy. Good to know. Yeah, we have a couple of microphones on our Super TV studio when we have a couple of guests, but as you can see, Mark is remote, so maybe the two microphones picking up my voice. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, I turned one of them off. Glad to know it's better. So Mark, I'm going to start sorting stuff in the scene. In the meantime, why don't you tell us about yourself? What have you worked on? What you do on Anything World? Introduce yourself to the fine people at home.
Sure, no worries. So I'm an animator. I've been an animator for coming on 8 and a bit years, I think now. So yeah, long time. I spent most of my career working in VR, where one of our big things, I would work on roller coasters. So we would get cameras set up on the roller coasters, and as they went around the track, we would sort of make out a scene for it, and then we would be given a story, and we would create a whole animation. So while you're going around the roller coaster, you can have the VR headset on, and you can see all this craziness go on. So one of them was a Lego ride, which I think is at Legoland Manchester, if anyone's done that. But yeah, just super fun sort of stuff. Done a few realism stuff as well. Worked on the Tower of London, the one that's just come out very recently, all about Guy Fawkes. Worked on that as well. And then I moved to Anything World last year, so I've been here for just over a year and 2 months now. Loving it, it's awesome. And I do the main animations for all the characters that we put up in our library. So I make the blueprints for the animations, and then the machine learning team use my animation to help the AI be able to transfer all the animation onto other characters. Hello, upstairs girl.
That's great.
Another annoying world. Yes.
Very.
Yes, you are the annoying one, upstairs girl. I know who you are. Love you.
It's very convenient that we have you today here, because yesterday we have had a feedback session, like a focus group kind of thing, with developers, and to understand what they like, what they don't like, what we can improve on our browser, on Animate Anything. And one of the highlights that they say they love the most is the animations that we have. So very nice to have you here today. So it was very.
Well, I like to hear. If people are happy with it, then I'm happy.
Yeah. People really like it.
I've done my job. That's good.
I mean, I'm a programmer.
Hey, you make all the things tick, mate.
But
I can't do your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
I look at it and it just looks like Matrix code to me, and I'm just like.
But I can't draw.
I'm gonna take the red pill and stay in my lane.
I can't draw. A stickman for the life of me, and so every time I animate a character, I'm just with Animate Anything, I get floored that, oh my god, this thing is giving me the animated training model. This is amazing. And so it's always a joyous moment for me. It's lots of fun. And well, how's your day to day in Anything World? How do you work?
My day to day.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm currently on some sort of hopping category. So the category that will come out at some point later down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Just animating rabbits and frogs at the moment. So at the moment, all just doing very basic sort of stuff. So just doing a frog little idle, hopping, crawling, and doing some swim cycles and all that sort of stuff. So very basic stuff. And hopefully, once we've got the library up and running to a good state, that we can really expand on the animation. So, but at the moment, all very basic sort of stuff for people just to dive in, get going. So yeah, at the moment, just hopping around with a froggy.
Nice, very nice. And this is like my completely horribly novice question, because again, no idea how to animate and raise.
No such thing as a bad question.
Exactly. How do you? So you're doing a hopping animal like a kangaroo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how exactly does it go? I mean, do you create a 3D model of kangaroo as well? Do you take a ready-made model? And once the model is made, how do you create the animation? Do you use references? Do you create it from scratch? And I'm asking legitimate questions because I have no idea how.
Oh no, it's fine. So model we get off Sketchfab, and then me and Divya will work together to get the skeleton right for the mesh itself.
Mm-hmm.
Then once Divya's script can transfer the skeletons onto various different characters and all look to a good standard, she'll send it over to me, and I'll do what is called skinning. So what skinning is you it's basically parenting the joint to the mesh. But what you want to do is when you rotate the arm, you just want to make sure the arm's doing it. So called paint weighting. So you paint weights around each area of the joint that's moving, so you can make sure nothing else in the mesh is moving, because obviously you don't want to move the arm and see a bit of the belly go whoop that way. So once the paint weighting is done and all that, I will set up a control rig. So got so there's FK and IK controls. So when I'm moving a character in a walk cycle, using IK is a lot easier because it will keep the feet or arms, whatever I want to stay put still while I can move the rest of the body around. And to go in the animation part, yeah, every single time I get a new character, unless I've done it 1,000 times, but most of the time I will find reference footage online, because it's the best way to make sure you have the most accurate movements. And I'll basically block out the most very basic sort of, so say we're doing the kangaroo, do a very basic sort of hopping cycle, and then it's sort of adding that little bit of frosting, good way of saying about it, on top, because sometimes if you animate something to complete realism, it won't completely look right. So it's sort of taking the realism and then adding a little bit to make it look nicer on the eye, so a bit more waviness and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's mainly it really. It's using lots of reference footage, all the reference footage you can, and there's abundance online you can find, so very good. Obviously there'll be some characters where you don't have reference footage for, like some fantasy creatures, dinosaurs, because you can animate dinosaurs however you want. So you've got the way movies have done dinosaurs, and then there's also, you can take it into the realism look of it. So obviously a T-Rex wouldn't run at high speed, so it all depends what the artistic look you want to go with for that as well. If you want a realism one and you just want the water to make it really look nice and heavy, what you would do is you'd pick different creatures that look very similar to the character you're animating, and you would just take bits from them and add it. So that's where the real work comes in for us animators, where you've got to make it look nice without knowledge of what the creature would actually look like. But you can also look at other people's work and use them as inspiration for stuff, because everyone animates everything so differently. But yeah, there's an abundance of stuff online you can use as references.
Cool. And that was a great explanation. And you mentioned the term, you mentioned IK.
Yes.
During the explanation, and I'm not sure if you follow our streams or if you're familiar with what happens. And one of the main attractions of the stream is me making a fool of myself, trying to explain stuff that I'm not entirely familiar with, that I know the very basics of. So last week, I explained to Marta what machine learning was. And so let's give it a try with IK today. So okay. So when I was using, I would present mechanism to people, and I would show the IK feature. The way I described IK was like, let's say you want to make an animation of a character picking up an object on top of a table, right? So like, I'm pick something up here. So I have this little white box here, right? And let's say that's on top of a table, right here, there. And if I want to make an animation of my hand picking it up, I can make the animation of my hand going here and moving like this and pick it up. But what happens if I move this object? If I decide to move the object like a little bit forward on the table, then I would have to redo my animation, because my animation was originally made for the original position, right?
Yep.
But with IK, you just define that the target of the animation, the IK target, is the object. So the animation knows that it needs to go to that point.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's very correct.
See, I haven't made a whole fool of myself today then. to make a reasonable explanation of what IK is. And honestly, again, for somebody who's not a modeler, IK is just one of those things that I think it's unbelievable. I know that underneath is just maths, but still, it's I look at stuff like that and say, oh my god, how does people do that? It's amazing. I want to.
People.
I was setting up the chicken truck to eat them. So this is the bug that annoyed me the most. We did this camera effect for when the Seagull speed up, and it eases into the effect, but it doesn't ease out. That's super annoying. I hate the truck. That's great. Look at that. Cool. So yeah. One other good thing that you're with us today is the fact that last week I did a talk with game art students, right? And I talked a little bit about AI and the impact that AI have on multiple aspects of life in general, but in game development in specific, right? And I think there's still a whole lot of concern about how, and I think it's a valid concern about how AI is going to impact employability of people and jobs in the industry in general, right? I think, it's my opinion, is that stuff that you can generate with AI today, it lacks something, lacks creativity, lacks, for a lack of a better term, soul.
Yeah.
But also my perspective as a programmer is I think it's very different than yours, right? And I was thinking about this yesterday, and I've been using AI more and more as a programmer, and it made me realize that I would say that the vast majority of my time programming within Unity, it's doing boring, non-creative, repetitive tasks. It's like setting up the character movement, stuff that I did tons of times before, but every time I do is in a different setting. So like right now I'm doing a Seagull. Maybe tomorrow I'm gonna do a 2D based game, so it's a completely different input, and I have to do the input again, and more and more all I do, I just go to ChatGPT and say, hey, provide me with a Unity script for a character movement 2D, and that's that. And of course I have to do some minor adjustments, but most of the time it's pretty effective, and then it frees up time for me to work on more interesting stuff. But again, this is a perspective of a programmer in this very specific scenario where I'm working with different stuff all the time, right? But what about on your, on your area, on modeling and animating? How do you see this amount of usage of AI, and where we stand today and where we're going to be like 6 months, a year, a couple of years from now?
I mean, the way AI is going at the moment, you never know where it's going to be. It seems to be leaps and bounds with AI all the time. Like every time you think, what can they do next? And they come up with a hand new thing, and it's just like, have you ever watched the TV show, the Marvel Secret Invasion?
I haven't seen the show, but I know that the opening was AI.
So that's all AI generated.
Yeah.
And as far as I can remember, that's like sort of the limit with AI at the moment. Is that sort of style. I haven't seen anything else more recently. So AI style is very its own style, very sort of thing. But as I agree with you, you can't get that bit of soul in it, sort of thing. Like when an animator animates anything, they always put themselves in the character itself, sort of thing. Like in a big team, if you're doing like a lip sync or just an action, you'll most of the time you'll see the animators actually doing it. So if you know the animator well yourself, that is 100% you, because we put ourselves into those characters. So in terms of AI threatening animated jobs, I think for now I can't see they would threaten an animated job. You probably could get to a point with AI, from the way I'm seeing it at the moment, to a point where you'll be able to do a very good animatic for a scene. So you could say to an AI, I need this character to go from point A to point B, C, and do these sort of actions, very minimalistic sort of actions. And I feel that's where AI will probably help the industry, because you'll be able to just whip out things very quickly, change things on the fly, and then gives animators more time to really hammer into the keyless sort of thing. Yeah, I don't see AI taking over animator jobs anytime soon.
Yeah. One other example that I think it's a little bit aligned with the Secret Invasion opening is that Amazon is creating a Fallout TV series, right? And they've released a poster that was clearly AI made, because it had stuff like cars with two fronts and cars with no drivers, people with weird aspects. You know, it's like it's those tells. You know that. I mean, the trained eye look at the scene and they spot immediately. Okay, so this is AI, right? Like the car with two fronts. And I think it's interesting that you mentioned like the processes and the tasks that you see AI working on modeling. It's very similar with my point of view that, you know, I'm using ChatGPT to create basic boring stuff that I need on my level, like a basic character controller, you know, and then of course I can refine it and give my spin to it. But you know, the basic bare bones stuff, it's that it would take me, I don't know, 30-40 minutes to make, and I would stumble on some moronic human error. I get it immediately. And one other way that I like to frame that is to make a parallel with game engines, right? So if you take Unity or Unreal, for instance, and they provide you with a lighting system, right? So you don't have to create your own lighting system that will have to calculate how shadows work, or if you want to configure soft and hard shadows, etc., etc. Same thing with a physics engine. The game engine provides these modules for you, so you can concentrate on working on your game, or making your game yours, right? I kind of see that it could go the same way, and I believe that what we, by we I mean anything world, what we provide in terms of the rigging and the animation and the browser is something like that, right? It's you don't have to worry about rigging the character. You know, we provide that for you, and then you make your animations. You give this rigged character your flair and your taste, and make the character really yours. But then the thing is, as you said, right? the whole field is moving incredibly fast. God knows where we're going to be a couple of years from now, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's the part that that I'm gonna say worrying me, but that's the part that fascinates me. Let's put it like that. It fascinates me, and but me as a programmer, I being honest, I welcome these things because programming is boring. You know, doing like this. Doing like this things again and again that I did before, and as much as you reuse code, there's stuff that you have to do again and again, and Jesus, it's just so annoying. And have something that provides, that have a tool that provides it for you. That's awesome. I'm totally for it.
No.
And
I agree. If because you saying about like you whipping out the same code every time, it's a very similar for me with animation, because a quadruped walk cycle, they're all very similar. Only you can take like a handful of creatures where the walk cycle will be different. So like when a quadruped walks, it'll be right foot, left foot forward, and then left foot front forward, right foot back forward. And it's the same walk cycle pretty much all through it, just maybe a couple of changes here and there. So for an AI to be able to, you can go, right, make me a walk cycle. So for those scenes where you just need a creature or character walking through a scene, and you can say you've got to do a lip sync or a different sort of action to it, you can get the AI to do the very basic for you, just to get the walk cycle, and then I can dive in, do the lip sync, which would make my life a load easier, or even just get the very basic sort of walk cycle down, because then you can just tweak the little bits here and there that an AI might not add, so like a bit of wobble in the chest or anything like that sort of thing. So yeah, if AI can do that, then yeah, I mean, that's what sort of we're doing here anyway. We're using my animations as a blueprint, teaching the AI to be able to transfer all the animation onto different characters, and obviously people who are subscribed to Anything World uploading their creatures and characters to the thing, and using our AI animations to be able to put onto their characters.
Definitely, yeah. It's. But it's okay. We are eating buildings now. That's good.
Seagull, no limit.
Oh shit! It's not gonna have any limits at all. You know, there you go. We are. So we're making this game based on a game called Katamari Damacy. You know this game?
I don't know of it actually, no.
Yeah, so it's a very weird Japanese game. It's so the plot is the king of the cosmos. It goes out on an epic bender, and while drunk, he destroys all the stars in the universe.
Right.
And you're the prince, and he recruits you to collect objects, gather enough mass to generate new stars, right?
Right.
So in the game you control like this sphere, and you have to roll around the world, and objects that are smaller than the sphere, they stick to the sphere and make it bigger, you know?
Okay, yeah.
And so at the beginning of the game, you have a very tiny sphere, and then you roll on, and you can pick up stuff like paper clips and rubber band, stamps. But then you get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you can start to pick up cutlery and cups, and newspapers and magazines, and TV remotes, and cassette tapes and radios and TVs, and you get bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point that you are rolling around, grabbing buildings and clouds.
Okay.
So it's a completely bonkers game.
Yeah.
Which I'm a big fan of. It's I think it was released for PlayStation 2. So, you know, when Gordon came up with the idea of making the Seagull game, I remembered Katamari and said, okay, yeah, maybe we should do something like that. And here we are, making a seagull that can eat buildings. So, you know, it's a very similar vibe, but
No, I wouldn't be shocked if I ever saw a seagull eating a brick in a street corner. They just tend to eat blooming everything. They have no boundaries on what seagulls eat, and they're all blooming tanks. They walk around like, they're just like, what are you looking at? Like, give me that chip. Oh, stop me.
Sadly, I don't think there are any breaks on the level, but you see there are fries and hamburgers and cheese, you know, and this will all be edible as I set up the variables for these objects. But Katamari, it was, you know, you could argue that it's a horror game because
Okay.
you are rolling around the world, just rolling over people to turn them into stars. So you could say that there's an element of horror.
Why not?
But it's a very fun game. I love it, and it's completely insane. But what about you? Do you play games? Are you a regular gamer?
When I can play games, yeah. If my kids aren't screaming at me and keeping me up at night, yeah, I like to play a couple of games. I haven't played some games for a while. I've got a list of games that I do want to play. Last game I got to play was not the most recent God of War, so God of War Ragnarok, but the game just before that I got to play that on my PC. That was, I can see why so many people were hyped about that game.
But that was like Viking God of War already, right? So it's like, okay.
Yeah. So not like PS3 version where you trying to think, because it's not a third-person character, because you're not looking through him. Is trying to think, what is that camera angle when you've basically got the majority of the camera character in the corner of your screen,
like over the shoulder, right?
Yeah, over the shoulder. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's third person.
It's still third person, is it?
Yeah. I guess you could call it third person.
Yeah. So it's obviously I was a bit skeptical at first because I loved all the previous God of War games. But obviously you had more control of the character. There's basically a different type of game mechanics, really, and this one decided to change it all. But this is where change was for the better. I thought it improved the game so much. Like the graphics, everything down to it was just a beautiful game. To the point where I completed it, I was like, right, I want to just start that again.
Oh, you should definitely play Ragnarok.
Kratos or carrots? Oh, well, I don't know. Am I eating with Kratos or
the seagull
am I eating carrots? There's a difference. Am I friends with Kratos? That's the thing. I'm not friends with Kratos. I don't want anything to do with Kratos. It's gonna kill me.
You should definitely play Ragnarok then.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that to eventually make its way to PC. Because
right.
I sadly don't have a PlayStation, so.
Right. Yeah.
I'd love to get myself a PlayStation, but
without spoiling much, I really enjoyed in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the way they portrayed Odin. You know, it's very unique, very different from other portrayals of it. So but it's a really good game. I quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's very different from the old Greece-based God of War games.
Yeah, no. I like the addition of Atreus. I was curious about how you were going to use him in game, but yeah, he's a great mechanic to have. And yeah, it keeps. I just love that it keeps the main aspect of God of War, but like just the goriness over the top, just ripping body parts off and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's brilliant.
That's the best part of God of War.
I've just seen the messages. It's actually the Seagull should eat Kratos.
Yeah, the Seagull should.
What we should do is, if the Seagull eats Kratos, the Seagull should then get the axe or the blades of chaos and start spinning them around.
Unfortunately, we don't have Kratos on our browser. But again, I was talking with Marta last week. We were talking about games that he mentioned an old NES game, and we talked about playing it in the stream. And then I'm pretty new to this whole stream thing, so I don't know if I start playing an NES game in the stream, I'm going to get copyright blocked or stuff like that. God knows how those.
No, I don't think so. I think it all depends on what. Because obviously Twitch is just made for streaming sort of thing, but
yeah, there's that,
I
right?
don't think you get copyright for playing the game because there's a whole different sort of law about streaming the games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think there's.
And then I know there are some. I've seen games before, like the creators allowing streamers to say, yeah, absolutely, stream my game, of course.
Yeah. Oh yeah. At the end of the day, it's free advertisement.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Company, so.
And some games even have, I can't recall the game, but they have like, if you go to the settings, they have like a stream mode.
Yeah.
Because the game may have copyrighted music, so
Yeah.
and they just mute that music, so you don't have problems. Anyway, I'm always I step on X when we do streaming, just because I am very new to this whole thing.
I still want to do an Anything World company Among Us.
Oh, we should, right?
We really need to get that at some point, because I think that would be an absolute blast.
Yeah, you know what?
Maybe that could be the streaming debut. A company Among Us.
Oh, look at that! I'm going to, you know what? And I'm going to suggest that for some end of year festivities, and we do like a company wide Among Us. I played a few rounds of Among Us, but I was always horrible at it. I was always, whenever I was the imposter and I had to do stuff, I was always caught.
Do you like doing this? Do you like doing the sneaky sort of way? So if when you're in the imposter, you like sort of like, I'm gonna be really sneaky about it, or you just like, right, I'm just gonna go gun ho and just chop people's heads off, whatever.
I tried both. And and none of them worked, so, so I don't know. I definitely need to refine my strategy in terms of...
I think it all depends who you play with as well. I remember playing Among Us with a bunch of my friends, and I was the imposter, and I killed all my friends, and I somehow, the way I killed him, the body was like hiding under the table. Like you couldn't really make it out.
Okay.
So I killed him, and then people just swarmed into the room, did their things, and then all left because they couldn't see the body. And then someone eventually called it out, and I was like, what? I don't know what happened. I wasn't there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We definitely should have an Among Us.
I'm trying to think like how people would play. Who would be a good liar?
It's good to to discover people's characters as well. You know.
I feel Maya would just go gun ho and wouldn't even care.
Really?
I feel she would go gun ho. Yeah.
You know what?
I feel like she'd make a beeline for me as well.
You know what?
She'd want to kill me first.
You may be right. You know, you may be right.
And then when it came to the interrogation, she'd just be probably giggling her head off.
Yeah, we definitely, you know, we definitely need to play. There's a new game that's becoming a bit viral. I don't remember the name. It's about it's a company or corporation or something like that,
Right.
where you have to work together to collect space trash or something like that, you know. And it seems to be hilarious as well. So we should definitely have a look at that one too.
Oh, there's so many games we need to play as a company.
I know, right?
Mario Kart's another one.
Which one?
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. Yes. Mario Kart brings me good memories because.
Which one's your favorite Mario Kart?
It's a good question, man. I think there's a distinction between favorite and the one I played the most.
Right.
Because
Okay.
I played a lot of the GameCube one.
Double Dash.
Double Dash. There you go.
Double Dash. Yeah. Double Dash is my favorite.
But that's because it was it was my first job, and we would just, you know, after hours we would just hang around company and play.
Right.
So, you know how it is, right? The different life, no responsibilities, no.
Oh yeah.
no family to go to. You know.
Not a care in the world.
Exactly. So it's
Stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning and wake up at like 10 o'clock the next day and be like, whatever.
yeah,
Don't worry.
and be functional, right? We wake
Oh,
up
yeah.
and go to bed at 4 a.m. Wake up at 10 and be functional.
Yeah. Oh, if I go to bed like at 12 now, I'm like dead the next day.
I know exactly what you
I'm
mean,
not functioning today.
because I did that yesterday and I'm just miserable today. So I know,
No.
I know exactly.
What were you doing last night?
So no, we when we met for the summer party, we talked about football, right? And
Right, yeah.
sadly, my team is in the middle of a relegation battle right now, and
Yeah.
so we need to, and you know, matches in Brazil are like 8 p.m., which are like 11 p.m.
Of course,
here.
yeah.
So then I have to. I don't have to, but
Yeah.
I stay
Your
up.
team, is it Santos?
Yeah.
Your team, if I remember. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, miserable days, and so you know, I have to. By allegiance alone, I have to stay up and just be a fool.
That's dedication, that is.
Yeah, and then I wake up at like 6:30 to bring my daughter to school.
How old's your daughter?
She's 9.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I have to take her to school, and
Yeah.
So you know, it's shame on me for doing this. But yeah.
Well, your camera is telling you to change the battery.
Oh, it turned off. I think the battery's gone.
Blackness.
Is it gone? Yeah.
Oh.
Change the battery pack. Oh well.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just going to, but I actually just going to set up the box collider for this gas station here, and I think we're gonna wrap it up for today because I have a meeting at 5, sadly, and so I need to be there. But it is a very interesting meeting that is related somewhat to the streams because for reasons I cannot say, but it's going to be fun and I'm really excited. What's that?
Said it's a secret.
It is a secret for a few more days, but soon soon everything will reveal itself. So let's see how this gas station goes. So let me ask you one last question.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, we are wrapping up the Seagull game, and the Seagull game is in its. I forgot to set it as a trigger. And I want to start a new series, and it's going to be slightly different because I found out what makes Twitch tick, what makes Twitch promote your stream, and blah blah blah. And it seems like Twitch likes longer form streams, like people that streams for 3-4 hours, and usually the Seagull game streams are 1 hour long. So the Twitch algorithm doesn't like these. So I'm going to do a longer version, longer sessions, and the plan is to. I saw this guy on YouTube, and what he did was he recreated Beat Saber. Using AI. So for everything, for code, for assets, for everything, he used AI. And I want to do something similar, And but I'm still trying to figure out what game I'm gonna do it, what game I'm gonna use, and if you have any ideas of, hey, this could be a good game for this experiment, or this genre, let me know. The two ideas that I have right now, one of them feel too complex and the other feel too simple. So the too simple one is Tapper. You remember Tapper?
Yeah. The bar game.
Yeah, the old school arcade game. That's because Gordon talked about sliding mugs of beer across the table. Then I remembered Tapper. But Tapper may be too simple for that. And the other one would be something like Stardew Valley, or just some farming type of game. Yeah, but trying to figure out what we're going to do. Life after the Seagull game.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So if you have any ideas, if anybody have any ideas in the chat, let me know. Love to hear from you. With that, so just one last replay, and the Seagull can now eat. It cannot because I changed the variable, but the Seagull, it can eat gas stations. Look at that. Go play one last time, and God, Unity. Some days
eat all those out-of-date pasties that have been under the heater for about a week.
Sometimes it feels like Unity have went to bed at 4 a.m. There you go. We have eaten the whole gas station. Cool, and next week we're going to continue, setting up objects. So now we can eat buildings, we can eat the gas station, we can eat humans, we can eat vehicles. I think I'm gonna focus on trees next week. I'm gonna eat some vegetables.
I've got to get those greens,
Yeah, exactly.
All those humans.
Yeah,
They're too fatty. You need some fiber.
Exactly. Cool. Mark, thank you so much for being with us.
No, thank you for having me.
Thanks everybody that's been watching. As usual, if you want to talk with us, join us on our Discord, social medias, and you can find us on anything.world, our website. And if you have any questions, if you'd like to know more, just feel free to reach out to us. Thank you so much, and I see you next week. Bye-bye.